Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. Today we are reviewing Porsha's Family Matters, Season 1, Episode 5. Okay, I didn't know we are going to have these many episodes, but here it goes. But before we start, housekeeping rules. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Please hit the thumbs up. This really helps the algorithm so I can see more of you. You guys can see me. So I appreciate you coming in to watch this video. And of course, drop me a line. What you think, what you say, if I ask a question, or if you just have something to say. We don't always have to agree, but I always love to hear different opinions. That's what makes the world go round. As long as we disagree respectfully, we can keep this train moving. Last of all, don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. So let's go in. So the first scene is, they're still on this retreat, get the family together. Porsha has this idea, which was kind of started from the first episode. She wants a blended family. A cohesive blended family, not just a blended family. So, Lauren had come up with the idea, let's do this, namaste, get together, let's do things. So, yes, they have the dinners in the evening, but in the mornings, they're meant to be having exercises to build them up spiritually. So last week, I believe they had meditation. Now they have like a yoga session. But once again, we just have the regular players. Of course, Lauren, who's running it, you have the yoga instructor. Dennis is showing up. Dennis is showing up for filming. Like, he's got a decent work ethic. I believe he was an ex-NFL player. So, yeah, like, call time. What time is call time? I'll show up at call time. And he shows up. But for the second time, both Simon and Porsha are absent from the exercises that, one would think really matter. And so, as they start, the little joke, Dennis is showing us how charming he can be. So they do the downward facing dog. He got a little crack, like, dude, I don't know how I feel. But yeah, he got his little joke in, and that's it. So now they go sit down after the yoga session. And something that Dennis brought to our, not brought to our attention, we already knew, but something he brings up to Lauren's attention is like, look, your sister wanted us to do this cohesive family thing, but she's not showing up for the real activities. Why am I here? That the main connection, the person that connects all the dots is her, not me. Why am I showing up for everything on time and she's not even justifying or validating your work with an appearance? True tea. He's like, yo, if this keeps going, he's just gonna skip to Tulum and have some real fun, because you can see he's about his daughter's life. He's not playing, and he's about Porsha too. But right now he's telling us that he's doing all of this for PJ, so everything can be cohesive. So now we kind of broach into a topic, it's a good scene, I guess. The producers thought this was actually a pretty good scene for the producers to arrange, because I'm sure it was arranged. Well, her assistant Lauren and Lauren Williams, who's Porsha's sister. So we'll just say assistant Lauren for now. So they start talking, and, he's thanking them that, guys, thank you for, helping out, you guys are all for PJ, appreciate it. But, this is now when they kind of go into some detail as to, what might have transpired, because something had been going on between he and Dom. Apparently, the word is that, Dom had seen somebody he cheated with, how saw her, anyways, Dom saw something and went to go tell Lauren, Porsha's sister, and it got back to Porsha, and I think that's how they eventually broke up. I think for the final breakup. There were a lot of breakups, but I think this led to the final breakup. Dom is asking, I think he said something. Dom says he wants an apology. Like, at this point, I feel like you could literally see Dom's mind clicking. Like, he's thinking about, yo, how can I blow this up and make my 15 minutes? Dennis is, he's press savvy. He's like, yeah, this is not even important. He just should sit down, and they keep talking. Like, he shut down real quick that nothing occurred. Nothing. Like, there was nothing to say. So there was a great point that Dennis made here that definitely worthy to mention. He's like, yo, I think Simon's a cool guy. I like him. But the issue here is that Porsha's gotten to the point where she's a celebrity even within that inner circle. And that's not cool. Like, he feels that Simon probably may like Porsha, but the issue here is that Simon is looking at and treating Porsha like a celebrity. And that's a problem. And he's like, look, you are in a camp. You all are not really making her accountable. You're not holding her feet to the fire. You're not calling her out on her stuff. I don't like that. That's PJ's mom. I don't like that. Great point. That is something to consider, particularly because if the person she's dating is treating her like a celebrity, her inner circle treats her like a celebrity. All this is like, so when does she get in touch with reality? Lauren goes on to explain as to why she doesn't necessarily always hold Porsha accountable. She's like, you know what? Porsha gets a lot of bad press, so she's getting all this negative energy coming to her. She doesn't want to be an additional source of energy, but she's like, you know what? I hear you. We'll take care of this. So, but in the midst of the scene, the other things is like, yo, they begin, this is assistant Lauren kind of chatty. Well, we know Dom's chatty, but she kind of chatty, like talk about, yeah, I don't know, she just met, Simon, and it's, I'm like, sis, like, can you say this in front of Porsha? Because if you can't, then you don't need to be saying this at all. Because the cameras are rolling. So, as we continue to watch, I'm wondering if Assistant Lauren is still Porsha's assistant. I'm just saying, because I feel like she was saying a little too much. Like, yes, there's a way to keep it real as an employee, but keeping it real about your employer on camera may not be the best way to go, particularly if this is going to be the first time you're keeping it real. I'm just saying, like, people tend to lose their mind when they see that red light and the camera's live, and rightfully so. The producers kept those clips in. I don't know. If I was Porsha, I'd feel some kind of way about my assistant and ex-assistant, chopping it up over my life. Dennis thought it fit to bring up that comment again that Simon made when he said he had movers on speed dial to move every fabric and get the woman out of his space once they broke up. And of course, Dennis had mentioned at the time, like, I mean, he laughed with him about it, but thought to him like, yo, that's kind of serious. Like, this guy, he makes a living out of making clean break. If anything, he's like, confidentially speaking, I just want to tell you I had a conversation. Bruh, you started with confidentially. The fact that you're saying this in front of camera is not confidential. But this is all reality TV, and they don't want to break the fourth wall. Okay, I get it, but it's not confidential because you're saying it in front of the camera. So going into this, I think this is a pretty good scene, and I'm going to lead this by saying that this scene really is establishing Lauren as a wellness coach. So let's start. Lauren is sitting outside in the beautiful view. She's got this great room. It's got the infinity pool. It's got like a gazebo, just like a penthouse kind of feeling. So she's sitting cross-legged in her robe, meditating. Lauren starts asking, about how everything is going. And so they get talking about the Mama G beef. And so Lauren acknowledges and validates that, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Your Mama G has had some, unsavory moments with you. So I feel you. But let me stop you there. I still feel like you're not being transparent enough or doing, even beginning to work on yourself. You're focused on Mama Gina. Mama Gina's going to be there. Like, whether you like her or not, she's going to be there. So I would advise you to bring it in and do some of the work. Now here you see like the inner workings of Porsha. So Porsha hears some criticism. And immediately you see the shift. Like, I love you. We can't show clips here. But you see the shift immediately. She gets defensive. She's like, well, I don't have the tools to do this. It really sounded like a lot of whining. Like, this show is not a great look for this lady. Porsha, this show is not a good look for you. But it might help you. No, everything happens for a reason. It might help you reflect and hold your own self accountable and really get a coach to help you work through these things, or else it's not going anywhere good anytime soon. So anyway, she starts with, I don't have the tools. I was like, stop. I've scheduled meditations. I scheduled yoga. I didn't see you there, sis. So how you know you don't have the tools if I didn't see you there? Of course, Portia's like, well, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if sleeping quiet is going to solve the problem. Did you come to my room to try and work on it? Did you ask me any questions? Did you ask for any more help? That's what I'm saying. She's not letting Porsha slide out. Like, she got her foot on her neck. Like, nah, keep talking. That's not gonna work. I was like, you know what? That's right. That's right. And the thing is, Porsha can't do what she usually does. Typically on the ensemble reality shows, she can do all that as her sister. So she knows her sister's coming from a place of love. Like, it's not gonna work. And so they go on talking, and she's like, I just realized that you're not transparent, you're not vulnerable, and you come up with excuses, but you're blaming everyone but yourself. You're now putting the power of how you are being in somebody else's hands. So then you remain powerless. I don't know if Lauren said that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you remain powerless. You walk around blaming everyone for what's happening to you. You're now taking that power of change out of your hands and into somebody else's hands. You can't do that because then that takes away you don't have a say in it. So you're now just reacting like a leaf in the breeze. You're just reacting to whatever happens to you. And Lauren's like, nah, you have no control over anybody else but yourself. So who can you change? You yourself. So you need to do the work. Porsha, like, she quiet for a second, like she's looking for her next answer. And then she kind of comes up with something else. She's like, you know what? I realized that you open up or you're a certain way depending on who's in your company, and you need to change that. Truth be told, I think we all do that. Like, no one's going to try and be like, you're different with different people. So that's a common thing. I understand that. Like, yeah, you'll have your head job with some people, and others you're more relaxed. But, as a coach, Lauren's saying, don't let your environment affect who you are. I think I'm guilty of that, because sometimes when the energy's off, I can be completely different. When the energy's all good, I can be like, I think I said I call myself a chameleon before. It's like, yeah, I respond to the energy that I'm surrounded by. And like I said, I think I said it was a gift and a curse, because then if the energy is bad, then you're feeling bad, like you're not moving or flowing the way you usually do. So it does require some work to actually do that, and it's not even every time you can do that. So, but it's still a good lesson to at least to attempt to try and work through. So they go on talking, and it gets to the point where I don't know, and she's doing what she usually does, and that's what I get. I'm not a therapist, but I think therapists will see patterns. Like, you revert to what you usually do. So now she's scurrying back, and somehow Dennis and his date come up. Lauren, clean. She stopped her and she's like, here we go. We're talking about people again. It's not about them. It's about you. Like, what are you going to do to try and, fix yourself? Like, how is it? How are you fixing yourself? What are you going to do? When do you want to actually sit down and be responsible for that process of growth and fix? Porsha, go ahead and say, I'm fixed already. Okay, that's a problem. Because the fact that you're in the situation you're in, filming the show that you're filming, tells everyone, but clearly not you, that you're not fixed. There's stuff going on. There's work to be done. The truth is, I think we're all, to some extent, walking around broken somewhat in different areas. But I think the problem at hand, or the problem I'm discussing currently, is it's a big problem if you're walking around broken, but you walk around feeling like you fixed. That's a problem. Porsha's constantly deflecting. Talk about, well, after she says she doesn't know meditating works, well, then after she says, well, I've got my God. Lauren's like, great, it's great to have God, but then you need to be held accountable, because you're going to have bias. Okay? Your ego is going to play a role in it. Your ego is going to be telling you things you want to hear. You're going to be resistant to it. You need someone to put a mirror to your face, and you need to be open enough and vulnerable enough to the process to look at that reflection and be honest and say, I don't like what I see and I want to change it. Now, you can only do that if you really want to change it, because no one said it was easy. But I believe the benefit on the other end of it is why we do that. So, I don't know if Porsha has done the work or if she wants to do the work, but like the rest of us, like the whole world, we all need to do the work. But she chose to televise herself, and so we'll use her example as a reason as to why, to emphasize, we need to do the work. So we can kiki about it, we can talk about it, but we should also be playing back in our minds. Like, I'm talking to myself now. I need to do some work, but I would never want us to look at Porsha and feel like, we're better than her. We're in a better position. No, that's not the point, because we all need work to do. But the point of doing this is looking at these shows and looking at what we, over entertainment, over a kiki. Sometimes it's all in the delivery. It's not really what I feel. It's not really the content of what you're saying, but how you deliver the content of what you're saying. So if we can say this over like a light, atmosphere, and get us, switch off the, whatever you're watching it on, and think about it and ask yourself, what do I need to do to make myself better? Because ultimately that's the goal here. We're here for a certain amount of time. Some people shorter, some people longer. And in that time, how can we live our best lives? And, part of that is being a little selfless. Of course, you have to think of self, but you must be a little selfless, because we're all affected by each other some way or the other. Let me get off the soapbox, because that's not what we're talking about. So there, just to conclude the scene, I really felt that Porsha did a great job of literally holding Porsha like this to the mirror and say, yo, Nah, that's not going to work. And to that extent, Porsha did say something as they were walking out. How, yeah, before I put my makeup on, I'm going to make sure I look in the mirror. That's a start. That's a start. Lauren, nice job. There was a part in their conversation that they discussed when she was reflecting on why she wanted a blended family. She was talking about, so from what I gather, so her mother was divorced from the father, Porsha's father, and then of course Porsha's father remarried and of course had Lauren, and maybe Lauren has some other siblings, I don't know. And so Porsha made mention that she called it like a porch relationship. So she would say that every time her mother would drop her off but wouldn't cross over the porch, and so there was some separateness and it really affected her. And so her desire to want to have this cohesive, blended family was so her daughter wouldn't feel like that, wouldn't feel the separateness. Like a good example I think is, the Smiths. Like we know they're in the press right now, breaking the myths, breaking our hearts over, the relationship wasn't perfect, but it isn't perfect. So that's a whole nother conversation. But what I do like, and I think everybody's liked about them so far, has been that fact that they've really grown to a place to have a great blended family. That, both women are loving life, both together and apart. And there's a nice cohesiveness that really required some work, particularly the way the relationship went around. Because from what I understand, Jada started seeing Will before the divorce was final. So of course there was some issue there. But they had this conversation on the red table and it was just like there was a real healing. So I think they sit at the same table, their dinners together. I think they've gone on vacations together. And that's a great example for the kids to see. So I believe that's what Porsha in her mind would like to see. Like, the different families just sitting, even though there might have been something going on before, now they're together, united front, and now creating a sense of stability for PJ and any other children that might come after that. It's a great desire. So when she breaks down, you begin to see, oh, okay, that was probably to me one of the first authentic moments when she just kind of cracked and said that, like, oh, I see it. And it also, for me, it gave me some insight as to why Porsha and Lauren are different, like as to why that the differences, the cause of the differences. Because Porsha, she's like, like she has this thing, but rightfully so that Lauren said she does not appear to be. I mean, she's funny, she's fun, she cracks little jokes, but that vulnerability is not there, and it makes sense now based on when she recounts how she grew up. Whereas, I felt Lauren in her setting felt more secure. I guess grew up with the dad in the home. So some of the worries that Porsha has, she didn't have. So she had the luxury of actually going in. Because to me, based on what I'm seeing on both clips on this show, and of course, the original Real Housewives of Atlanta from the beginning, there is I want to say an emotional maturity that I see in Lauren that hasn't been displayed in Porsha when she's profiled or shown on the screen. And that could be for the simple explanation is like when you grow up a certain way with some sadness, some things that are missing, you spend a lot of time, like maybe she was in survival mode, so she didn't have time to deal with, the stuff on the inside. It's like if you think about somebody who is, in the hood, struggling in the hood, trying to, make ends meet, trying to get your meal, trying to stay safe. You don't have the luxury of time to work on yourself, and do all. You don't have. That's a luxury you don't have. And so you're literally in survival mode. That's all you're doing. But whereas somebody, living up on the hill, they've got time. They've got time to do yoga. They've got time to do the spiritual work. They've got, resources to even get a coach to delve in and be, who am I? You have time to ask yourself those questions. You have time to think. You have time to meditate. But if you're living in survival mode, you don't have time to meditate. And it almost makes me think that, maybe is that somehow how Porsha grew up, literally in survival mode. I'm not saying she grew up in the hood. I don't know how she grew up, but literally in that state of mind. So it was just all about go, 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 go. Okay, I need to get with a rich man. I need to be stable. I need to be this. But she hadn't really worked on inside. She's worked on outside. There's nobody going to tell you that girl's not beautiful. She is. She's got the figure that everybody likes. But on the inside, who is she? That's the question. And I think that scene right there kind of gave us some reflection as to where, Lauren can be. And I'm not saying Lauren's perfect, by far not the case, but she's been working on inside. and maybe because from a younger day she had the luxury of being aware of that. I mean, not to say that's the only reason, because some people who grow up comfortable don't necessarily have an awareness. But if you are comfortable, you have the possibility and the resources to at least be aware of that and want to do something. Whereas if you're in struggle mode, you're in struggle mode. So being, spiritually strong and aware is just not what you're thinking about at the time. Porsha was talking about how everyone is not taking it seriously. Lauren says, look, sis, you can't have everyone on your timeline. You only can control you. So do the work you need to do and leave the rest. Yo, this scene was a good scene for Lauren. I just saw that. All right, so we go into the activity modes. Lauren has rightfully said that people don't just want to do work; they want to have fun. Let's mix it up. So they've got like 3 different trips. You've got, I believe, Auntie G, and you've got Aunt Liz. They go into the spa. Then you've got 2 groups. You've got one group going for ATVs, and you've got the other group going to a tequila thing. Yeah, I can literally see the producers thinking this up, because once they saw like how Dom and assistant Lauren were like running amok, the kingdom's running amok, they're like, you know what, let's throw some alcohol in the mix, let's see what we're gonna get. So they throw in London into that mix and say yo, and then they put Dennis, because Dennis can get this party started, he's good at this. So they go, that's the whole purpose. They want to get some tea. That's why they put these people on a drinking trip. They made them go drink tequila. Like, what? Where they do that at? Like, Porsha, you didn't know that this was gonna be a setup? You didn't know that they were setting you up? You should have said no to the scene. You know what? Anyway, it is what it is. She needs it. She needs a hit reality show. So I guess she'll be complicit in this. All right, so let's start with Porsha, Simon, wannabe Porsha, who's Stormy, and I believe Lauren's sister was there. I mean, Lauren, who is her sister, were there. So ATV bikes. All right, so yeah, Porsha runs ahead. She won't be on the first bike. I don't know why. I guess maybe when we see she likes to go really fast. The rest of them are going a little slower. Okay, be honest, if that was me, I probably would not be doing 35 miles per hour, helmet or not, but that's just me. Like, I might just be doing what the others were doing, like 8, 10, maybe a little faster, but I won't be speeding like, because nowadays you break something that takes a long time for it to heal. So I'm cognizant of that, because I see a lot of stuff coming at work that looks twisted all the way to a different direction. So yeah, that might not be what I want. So some way in the middle of the journey, Princess Tatiana breaks a nail. Princess Tatiana is AKA Porsha. Just thought it'd be cute, because for some reason, that was what I thought was odd. She took off her pants, her cover up, to sit on the bike. I would think you'd want the cover up to ride the bike, because it's hot. The leather might be hot. It might be uncomfortable. You're driving fast. There's dust. Like your hoo-ha is now a little more open. Like, I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, she took off and it worked out anyway, because she gave it to Uncle Simon to cover his head as he put his helmet on. Anyway, so she's, and then somehow breaks a nail. And, everyone's like, oh, the princess has broken a nail. But what I thought was ridiculous here and funny at the same time, which is why we're talking about it, is, they all gather around and they look at a nail. I don't usually do artificial nails, so I don't know. I'm sure it's painful because it was bleeding. But I know people who do it, I think I want to say, I'm going to assume that everyone who has long nails on, at one time or another, that's happened. But it was just all of a sudden, it was like, oh my goodness, the sky has fallen. But anyway, they stand around her, milling around, like, they're about to do she's in cardiac arrest, they're about to do CPR. And so they're like, should we cut it? That's not the point. So anyways, they're doing all that nonsense. Wannabe, who's Stormy, says that, oh, Porsha, your boobs look great. And immediately, like a child, Porsha looks up. Really? Are they glossy? I'm like, Jesus. The producer's gonna write that. I'm honestly, she acts, but she's not that good an actress. Like, she was completely distracted. That shows you another side. And I think that is the different sides of Porsha. She can do, go deep, do all this, but she's got this. And I do know we all have this trivial side, but this was a little too much. Is it glossy? Really? It was hilarious. Lauren's just in the back laughing like, yo, I can't make this. Simon just started covering up like, sis, like, this is not for public consumption. Stop it. And I think that's Porsha's fans. That's what they love about her. Which is such a shallow moment that it was funny. It was funny as heck. Because at one moment, it's like from the broken nail that you could see bleeding to like, oh. I guess that's part of the charm. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious to me. All right, so tequila. Back to them. They do a toast. I want to try the toast. Let's try the toast. So what is it? It's Pariba, Abajo, Pacentro, Pajentro. I'm going to try this. Hopefully I'm going to remember this. But anyway, so that's what they do. I just thought that was funny because I've seen it before and I wanted to try it. But anyway, so back to the table. They get the truth or dare. They got the tequila flowing. This is a producer's dream. Can I tell you? Like, they're excited because some stuff's about to come out. This scene, truth or dare. First thing that I'm going to get, that gospel is Porsha pregnant? No, she's not pregnant. Maybe she's pregnant. No. After I saw a test, she's not pregnant. Okay, man, that was filler. Then again, it's good stuff. Yo, Londi, why does Porsha, treat you so badly? Londi says, I keeps it real. I'm a real one. True. Anyway. So what she's trying to say is that she doesn't kiss Porsha's butt and she keeps it real and she's too blunt for Porsha's liking. Alright, a little bit of truth in that. But the other part of truth could be, and I hate that thing, oh, she's jealous of me, but no, maybe, Londi may feel that, you know what, with all that I have to offer, people don't acknowledge me or recognize me as much as they recognize Porsha just based on the exterior package. As smart as I know I am, y'all looking at Porsha as the leader, as the king. Like, then they decide to address the Stormy and Dennis beef. Like, I don't want to call that. I don't want to justify, like, call it by that name. Like, he's like, I almost feel like he's like, please don't put my name and her name in the same sentence. She's not one of us. Like, she's a kid, and I get that sentiment. Like, yo, stop. And so he's like, he tries to dismantle some of the untruths she might have told. Yeah, she said nobody threw a party. He said he threw a party. I have a question mark in my mind. Why you throw her party? Like, you don't know her like that. So there's a question mark there. Like, did something transpire? He goes on to answer the question. Like, no, he didn't holler at her. She was fired because she was tardy. I don't know. Like, how much of the truth do we know? Did he hit it? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Because some of the disrespect would make one think that he did. Or maybe he pursued her. I don't know. Lauren gets talking. Lauren, the assistant, talk about, Porsha's not in tune with emotions. This chick trying to get fired. She probably is fired right now. And at that same point, Uncle Dennis is like, cheers, because you won't be fired. Probably so. And then it also didn't make sense because remember, during the Robegate episode, Assistant Lauren played a part in letting them into the house so they could go get the robe. Actually, she playing a double thumbs up, He talks about, it's like, yo, Lauren, I thought you were an op, but you were keeping it real. And of course, Dom jumps in again, trying to suck out that 15 minutes. Talk about, I mean, so the part here that I agree with Dom is like, you know what? Do not hold yourself accountable because I'm a snitch. I'm just using my own words. Because yes, I'm a snitch, but you also have a part to play. If I hadn't done it, it wouldn't have happened. So if there were no bees, there'd be no sneeze. He hadn't made it rhyme, but I don't want to use that kind of language in real life or in video. So Dom, you're a snitch. That's without no question here. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have. Don't get me wrong. It's the onus is not on him snitching. The onus is if he didn't do the behavior that actually resulted in the snitching, there wouldn't have been any snitching. I agree. That's the one point that I can agree with Dom on. The other parts is like, Dom, you're an op. Snitch. Embrace it. And so my G, he's like, yo, I owe this guy fade. I agree with you. You do. But you know what? Dom is no dummy. He's just like, we're keeping it real chill because the only thing between him and his fade is a table and a bottle of tequila. Like, he would get, Dance would get 2 licks in, at least 3 licks in before they split them up. So Dom's playing his cards close to the chest, sitting back and not messing around at all. He's like, yo, it's not that kind of party. So he wants he's going to keep it cool. And I mentioned that because I'm going to come back and talk about it again. They say something else. And another expensive joke that, to get these people fired. I don't know who said it, if it was Lauren or Dom. Between the two of them, they're talking about, Porsha's no longer doing what Dennis is saying. She's not only doing what Dennis says, she's now doing what Simon says. The disrespect. She paying your salary and she flew you out there. You on camera because of her and you running your mouth Like whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, I don't agree with that at all. Let's keeping it real, and they're just going when you run amok. They've run amok. Like they're just misbehaving at this point. But the producers love it. And so one of the final scenes at the tequila running my mouth table is, Lonely says, "So why you find me, Dennis?" And Dennis says, hold up. Because Porsha told me to. Porsha told me to fire you. Oh, whoa. Like he knew those were fighting words. They already have beef. And so he added into the beef by, I'm letting you know that your cousin told me to fire you. I'm just going to leave that one alone. But he had held it to his chest and decided, I don't need to be loyal to her anymore. So could we say that Dennis was snitching here? I guess he was put on the spot, but would a real G disclose? I don't know. He also feels like he doesn't need to protect Porsha because Portia's not protecting him. All right. Third night, dinner 3. It seems that nothing good happens at dinner time. They decide to do a recap. And Dom shows us that he's the snitch that he says he is. That he's trying to fight. Talks about, to me, it never works to rediscuss a hot conversation. Like something that, it was like a hot mic. And he decided to break it down, turn it around. This guy clearly wants his 15 minutes. And at this point, Dom is acting real tough. He's got an audience. There's a big table. There's more than one small bottle of tequila between them. So he's running his mouth like, yeah, I wish you would. I'll catch it. Like he's running, like he's doing like, oh. I was feeling grief for Dennis. Like, yo, I'm going to catch you on the other side. Like, really? Because you went all this slick and like, your mouth wasn't running this fast when there was just a small table between two of us. Now there's a big wooden table. There are more people. Yo, Dennis, you owe him a fade. Like I think the rest of us support it. You owe this guy a fade. Like he was. Like if you want to act all bad and tough, then be prepared to face the consequences. Consequences and repercussions. That's what we know as an adult. We do something, there's a result of what we've done. Dom, you deserve a fade. That's what I'm going to have to say. End of story. That's the only popularity. I just need to see something in the blogs that you got the fade that you require. End of story. We're not going to bring you up again, I hope. There's a scene, they clip back. Because at this point, we at episode 5, Simon's seeing like some things that don't look savory to him. But, he's giving his lady, his fiance, the benefit of the doubt that, no, I don't think that Porsha is has any I don't know if we use that. We're gonna summarize. I don't feel like Porsha has feelings for Dennis, but I do feel there's some resentment there. She's going to need to do some work to get rid of that resentment, because at this point he realizes that she's giving us too much material to think like that she might still be feeling for Dennis. So the conversation begins to escalate and they're talking, and Aunt Liz, she threw a little shade here, because at this point Gina talk about, I don't want to be a part of this family. Like this is too much. Like this happened. Why are we talking about this at the dinner table? And she's, really in her words, let me say what Gina's really saying. She's like, look, this happened a while back. We're filming a reality show. Why are you trying to drag my son's name under the mud? I get it. I don't know any mother who wouldn't feel some kind of way about it and wouldn't want to fight back. But you can always see a part where Dennis keeps trying to caution his mom. Like he's trying to keep her out of the dirt. He's trying to keep her away from the pigs. Like just trying to keep her crystal clean. Like, nah, mom, don't do it. Mom, don't do it. And then, the Dawn, Aunt Liz, she talked about, and I guess maybe she didn't know like her mic was hot, or at this point when there's a lot of noise, you don't know what can be heard. I suppose I think it's like you need to come to the proper side or the real side of the Hosea family, Hosea Williams. This ain't it. You in the hood right now, but there's a real side. I might have to agree with her, because as things escalate, it's just like then they're talking, still trying to say, I guess it's a reality TV, so they want this kind of dirt. But all of a sudden, Stormy, well, not all of a sudden, Stormy, I guess Stormy too, she's also trying to get her 15 minutes. And it's been shown that bad behavior is rewarded. That's the truth. And so Stormy's going to continue. We, the public and the media, have rewarded bad behavior. What's that chick? Bad Barbie or something? It was bad behavior on Uncle Phil's show. I'll call him Uncle Phil, but Dr. Phil's show. That resulted in her getting a record deal. Like all of a sudden, like she's a celebrity because she was badly behaved and had studied the Ebonics Bible, and so she was rewarded with notoriety. And so, Stormy trying to get her 15 minutes. So bad behavior she's seen has worked for others. So she wants to see if it works for her. So she gets disrespectful, saying something about, talking, there's something we say when elders are talking, children should be quiet. That's the moment, says she. But I guess she's trying to do something else. So she doesn't keep quiet. She says something about his mother, something this. And then, Dennis is mad at this point and tells her to shut the F up. And yeah. He shouldn't have said it, but at this point, like, he's got nothing to lose. This, you know how it is. Like, you just disrespected my mama and you're not even old enough, like, to sit at this table with me. I'm above you. I don't know what he's saying, but yeah. Truth is, I feel like Stormy has done too much at this time, and then it just kind of goes up, and they jump up, and then what's her name? Porsha's like, scary. And I realized at no point in time has Porsha tried to check Stormy, either when she was coming at Londi or when she was disrespecting your baby father and your child's grandmother. That's an issue right there, and particularly because in prior scenes, Dennis had also made mention that they ain't that close. That, Stormy's around like on holidays. If there's a big dinner, then Stormy's there. Otherwise, they have no relationship. So it's like, explain it to me. So anyway, chaos ensues. And this is the part where what Aunt Liz says makes sense. When she said, you need to come to the real side of the Hosea Williams family, because this is like a hood mess. I don't know how things escalated, but I remember Dennis stood up, told his mama, and he's turned to Porsha and he's like, yo, I didn't even want to come here anyway. You asked me to come, and now you want to disrespect me like that in front of people and in front of the cameras. But from that, and I don't know how, from Porsha standing up, why Stormy's there. Like, Stormy, how's that your business? And then something happened, and he reaches over. Oh no! And then I see Porsha. It's like, yo, like Porsha, like, yeah, you could probably throw a good punch or two, but this makes me believe that. I don't know where she grew up or how she grew up, but sometimes not even it's not the zip code, but just the mentality. Porsha's a hood girl. She's from the hood. She's a hood girl because, like, all of a sudden she just reverted back to that's what it looks like. Reverted back, and she's swinging. She's swinging. Dennis, he's no punk. He's like, look, but I don't see him swinging, but I feel like he was reaching for someone. And I'm looking, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know, looking for where Dom was, because Dom is the one who needs the fade. I know he loved Porsha like that. He ain't trying to hit Porsha. So who was he reaching for? That's what I don't know, because Simon's on one side, and Simon is a gentleman. We may not like how he moves or how he operates, but he ain't about this. I'll tell you that right now. He looking like, yo, I'm not about this life. Because he's very calm. He's tapping, Dennis on the back. Let's dead this. Let's 86 this. Like, no, another time. Let's have it. Like, he's really trying to stop it. He's not irate. He's not acting crazy. He's not lifting his hands. He's not got his fist balled. I know another man in that same situation would have started swinging. Simon's not doing that. He's not about that life. That's not how he's going to represent himself as a millionaire. But his fiance is there swinging and throwing. Like, Simon, is that what you really want? Is that what she's going to do? You're going to have be present at state dinner. Someone's going to say something crazy to her, and then she's going to start swinging. This is not the first time we've seen her swing. She's been swinging like for a couple seasons now. And that's what makes me wonder, like, yo, I don't know if she grew up in hood, but she's got the hood mentality. Like, and that's why she's always quite defensive and maybe not so vulnerable, because she's grown up fighting. And so she doesn't have the time to be vulnerable. Like, beautiful, everything. But when ding, when the bell goes off, she comes out swinging, and to some that's great. To me, not so great. At this point in her life, in my opinion, using your fists, come on now, gee, that they had to hold you down. Dennis too, you kind of you let us down too. Like, you've been a star of the show, but this, you shouldn't let them drag you into this. But I just don't know. I was trying to see what was going on there. Who was he reaching for? Because I know he's not reaching for Porsha like that. And then we see on the blogs that wannabe talking about, yeah, he hit her. He didn't have time for you. You are behind Porsha, and chances are you got caught in the scuffle. He wasn't coming for you, so sit down, be quiet, and be mute. We already know what your problem is: lack of home training. And now you see the bad behavior gets rewards, and so you want to act up. Sis, to the side. keep it moving. So let's see. So that's how the mess in Susan. It's a whole hot mess out here, and it's Simon. Simon know he's not about this kind of life. Like he needs to be thinking about. But actually, there was a moment. Maybe that's what he does like a woman, because there wasn't a moment when Fallon on the last season lost her rocket with what's her name? The other, whoever, I can't, her name doesn't come to me right now. The one who was just constantly causing havoc, creating havoc, Latoya, who was just constantly needling people to get scenes. And yeah, so maybe he does like that, spicy tick in his woman, because that's true. Fallon lost it, and she was looking for blood too, and they had to hold her down. Shortly after that, they broke up. So maybe he thinks he likes it, but he doesn't really like it. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that is episode 5. It's a mess. And still, yet again, we ask ourselves, why is she recording this reality show? Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Lola, over and out. Thanks.